near the buildings, all this light and heat. Time to take a stand, boys, time to make a choice. Time to find our courage, time to be deployed. Make our only stand here, make our roads complete. All we waited for now, past and future meet. Get your weapons ready, kiss loved ones goodbye. Now our time is coming, and it is not the time to cry. Fight the war. Fight the war. Fight the war. Oh, here's why we're fighting. It's about the bite. Let the writers writing settle wrong from right. In the time of conflict, when the bullets fly, in the space of seconds, a life you cannot buy. Face the facts before you, face the simple truth. We're hopelessly outnumbered, it's tragic but it's true. Make your last formation, take the final road. Now it's time for endings, now it's time to go. Fight the war. Oh, fight the war. Fight the war.
Hello, people of the internets. What's going on, everyone? Hope everyone is doing well. What is up to the people who are here? About 30 degrees, a little bit warmer than that, I guess, in the big city. But it is a pleasure to see everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. What is going on today to 10 of Clubs? What's up, Ramir? Hello, Parn. What's up, Affirmo? Hello, Mount Fang. What's up, Mercurius? What is up, Porquitos? What's up, Judy Grilla? What's up, Graydon? What's up, Fisk? Hello, Edgy. Hello, Gentleman. Hello, Nedowin. Hello, Inam. What's going on, everyone? Hope everyone is doing well today. And hello, Smacky, by the way, too. Pleasure to see everyone. I hope everyone is doing well out there today. And yeah, welcome to a Friday edition of the stream. A couple things before we get underway, just a couple of reminders about things coming up. First of all, this is a Dragon Age stream tonight. We were thinking possibly we might try to get some D&D in either today or tomorrow, but Inam is currently fighting a flu bug. He is under the weather, and so he is not up for it. Also, Foom is super busy both today and tomorrow, and Saad is kind of busy one of those 2 days as well. And quite frankly, tomorrow I've got stuff going on as well. I don't know if I would be able to stream tomorrow, so we think we're going to let discretion be the better part of valor, and we'll try for D&D next week instead. Hopefully a week from tomorrow we can do it next Saturday. But in the meantime, it's okay because we got plenty of other stuff that we've got going on. Hey, Kais. We got plenty of other stuff going on. Dragon Age, as I said today, I don't know if I'll get a stream streaming tomorrow or not. Maybe, I don't know. And if not, then definitely the next time you would see me would be Tuesday, when we'll have another stream of Dragon Age. Then Thursday and Friday next week, 2 special streams. Please mark your calendars, spread the word, let the people know, let the word go forth from this time and place, from sea to shining sea, that at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday the 18th, I'm going to be interviewing David Marsh, who is the guy who did the original Shadowgate game, the one that you guys saw me actually stream on here, I don't know, 8-9 months ago, I guess I want to say, for Intellivision. No, not Intellivision. I was doing it on Nintendo, sorry. But it originally, I think, came out for the Apple IIe, if I'm not mistaken. He also did the Shadowgate remake as well, and Deja Vu and some other games as well. So we're going to actually be playing a little bit of the Shadowgate remake on stream, and I'm going to be interviewing him. So that's Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. Also, I have some Shadowgate games to give away as well. I sound a bit like Elfman. I don't know if that's good or bad. I'd have to think about that, Parn. Let's see. And then Friday, a week from today, very excited about this also. I'm going to have an exclusive interview with 3 of the developers from Dezoban. Oh, man, I got to find the name again. Duraman Games, I gotta look again, and Pop Cannibal, who produced the game Elegy for a Dead World. I was actually showing this last night. This is a game where basically you were an explorer wandering through an alien landscape of these 3 destroyed worlds, and you're basically writing an elegy for the worlds and like what's left of them, and they're worlds that are based on the romantic poetry of Keats, Shelley, and Byron. Like, it was pretty much a game that was written for me. Like, the only way they could have made it more for me would have been if it was like fantasy and then like Shakespeare, like other than that, it would have been pretty much, they kind of nailed it on all cylinders. So very, very exciting, very cool. And it's a very neat kind of game that really I'm looking forward to playing. I can see all kinds of applications with chat and stuff like that too. So we're going to be doing that a week from today. So again, 18th Shadowgate at 8 p.m. Eastern, and then 19th Friday, Elegy for a Dead World at 8 p.m. So I am super, super excited about both of those things. And then we're just going to keep on keeping on. The week after that is actually Christmas week, believe it or not. We'll see what happens there. Last year, I actually did do a Christmas stream. Christmas is on Thursday. My normal Thursday stream is actually on Christmas Day, so I obviously would be spending it with the family, but then the evening, I might stream on a Christmas. We will see. But that was a fun stream last year, so we'll see if we do that or not. And also, I may have family on that as well, because that was actually a request to have kind of a family holiday stream, so I may bring in the wife and daughter to that also, but we'll see. Anyway, so that's what's going on. Dragon Age Inquisition overall, once we finish Dragon Age Inquisition, then we're going to do finish up the Ultima Underworld run that I was doing, and then it's going to be Talisman of Death, which is the next Fighting Fantasy game book, and then after that we'll see. Then it kind of depends on where we stand time-wise. I might go on there to Trails of Sky. I might go on to Assassin's Creed 4. I don't actually know yet what's going on with The Witcher 3. I heard that got delayed, so maybe that won't be out by the time I'm done with this stuff. Maybe Pillars of Eternity if it's out by then, so we'll see. There's a lot of different stuff that's happening. The games that are sort of like on backlog. There's also Shroud of the Avatar that was given to me. There's Massive Chalice, which was given to me. So lots and lots of. There's a Vanishing of Ethan Carter as well. I mean, there's just lots of games. So we will all have to kind of plan that out when we get there. But at least next few games: Dragon Age Inquisition, Ultima Underworld run, Talisman of Death, Fighting Fantasy, with some D&D thrown in there as well. That's what we're looking at. So with that said, let me get rid of that. Let me get rid of that, and let me turn on this. Whoa! Let me turn on that. I was wondering why my camera was looking strange. I was like, is that tilted up to the ceiling? Yes, it was. Yes, it was tilted up to the ceiling. So what's up, everybody? Hello, wonderful people of the internet. Let me actually, let me reconfigure that. That was really funny. It's like, hi, I'm right down here. Oh, man. All right, hold on a second here. Let's get this thing back in sync. And a little bit more like that. Good. All right, that's better. All of a sudden now I can be seen instead of being actually out of your screen, which I think is probably what you would prefer, is actually to see me, I think. So anyways, pleasure to see everybody. I hope everyone is doing well, and we are going to get into it. I have just started to, yeah, I know. Sorry, 1298. Hey, Anam. What's going on, man? Am I getting ready to enjoy the holidays? Yes, sir, I am. In fact, I told my wife and daughter just before I started the stream that I said tomorrow I have all of these plans for what we're going to do tomorrow. Some of them are sort of practical things that involve shopping for various people, and some of them are less practical, like fun stuff. And I'm not telling them what the fun stuff is. Maybe I will let you guys in on it, but you have to promise not to tell my wife and daughter. And if you somehow find a way to tell my wife and daughter, I'm going to find that deeply troubling. So... because how would you be able to get to them? I don't know. Anyway, but yes, so I'm looking forward to that. That's what I'm doing tomorrow. And then Sunday, I actually have a live D&D session campaign that I've been playing. The other thing I'm doing tomorrow, of course, is grading, because it is the end of the semester. I just administered my first final yesterday, so I'm grading. I did some grading today. I have more grading to do tomorrow. I'll be doing some grading on Sunday, after the D&D thing. And then Monday, I'm doing my last 2 final exams with more grading involved. And then after that stuff is done, I actually have a short story that I have to write by Christmas time, so I'll have about 4 or 5 days to get it done. But I actually now I'm pretty excited about it because I got a good concept for it, I think, in place. And then after Christmas, it's time to get back into working on the 3rd novel and moving ahead and getting ready for Icarus, the graphic novel, to come out in maybe a month and a half, 2 months or so. So yeah, so fun times. Yeah, time to do so. Yeah, I know. I was talking to somebody about this. I guess it was Luzarius. I was talking about this. Multiple choice finals, yeah. Listen, I know, it's funny. People it's so easy. If you just have something you just put in a Scantron, that makes it a lot easier. When you're dealing with papers, like when you're dealing with, like, and that, by the way, is a fraction. That's like, what is that? It's maybe like a third of the number of papers that I have, still to grade. So, yes. Oh, no problem, Inam. That's fine, dude. I understand. Poor Inam is feeling under the weather, chat. Let's try to give him some love. Make sure that he feels better. And practical for your classes, yeah. But I'm telling you, though, it's funny, because obviously my students are like, oh, yes, definitely, multiple choice would be awesome. And yeah, if I could just throw something in a Scantron, let's be like, bzz, 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 I'm done. But I just don't, it doesn't, So, anyway, so, yes. All right, so let's get moving on to the game. We have just started to get into it. The game, I feel, has just started to take off a little bit. The first session or 2 of the game, I wasn't feeling it. I just felt like it was really kind of aimless, and I was like, why am I here? What am I doing? What's the point? Where am I going? And now it's all starting to kind of pick up and add together, so I'm actually looking forward to a good session tonight. So, with that said, let's get into it. The time has come to inquire into Dragon Age. Hey, Dragon Spear. What's up? Multiple choice, multi-answer, best of. Yeah, or true false. That's the other one, true false. That would be a good one. Willie Loman is a salesman. True or false? Willie Loman dies in Death of a Salesman. True or false? Oh, nice, Bill. Okay. Well, sometimes... I mean, listen. Also, my classes... some of my classes are as high as 25 students a class. And so, for those things, if I had... But, I know I have, like, a couple of colleagues who teach, let's say, Theology 101. They have a Theology 101 class that has, like, 100 kids in the class, 100 students. If you have 100 students, I don't think I'd be grading 100... I doubt I'd be grading 100 theology papers. Like, I doubt I could do that. So I think I might have to go with multiple choice in that scenario. I just, but for what I do, no. That is not the case. Yep, 10-minute loading screen hype. All right, sounds good. Hopefully we'll see you a little bit later, gent, but I understand. Okay, finally out the Dragon's Age. Multiple choice programming fun. See, right? And you feel good about that, right, 1298? Because you're like, yeah, multiple choice, no problem. Let's be honest, man. Most multiple choice exams are easy mode. Everyone knows this. Save often. Oh, yeah. Definitely. Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah, right. So you don't necessarily have the objective, in quotes, answer, but the truth is that instead, I don't think you're learning. My personal opinion is that you're not learning as well when you're just regurgitating straight facts. To me, I'm interested in the application of knowledge. In fact, my exams tend to be open book and open note. And the reason that's the case is because I'm not interested in them memorizing this character did X to Y at, a date. I'm interested in whether they're able to apply the stuff that we talked about in class to the things that are most important thematically, you know? So I'm interested in the sort of thematic comparisons. And also, because it's open book, it means they need to cite evidence from the text to support their answers. So they can't just be like, oh yeah, well, this is about this, because no, it's not. It's about this if you can give me evidence to support A, B, C, and D. So, you know, it's kind of interesting to see when people sort of look at it, they go, oh, well, I see now that maybe, you know, this is actually a little bit more challenging than I might have thought, so. All right, thanks for the offer, Ramir. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm not sure that multiplayer is my bag, man. I only play multiplayer in certain very limited situations. There is an off chance, by the way, that later tonight we could actually have a talisman game happening with some streamers. I don't know, but it's possible, so we'll see if that occurs. Yeah, multiple choice on math test, that's fine, but I mean, me not being a math guy, you know, that would be different as well. Does test take your hands cramp up? Oh yeah, no, for sure. I've been there, man. I tell all my students that, Bill. I tell, like, you're going to walk out doing this thing, or if they're left-handed, this thing, you know, and you're just kind of like, whoa, crack the knuckles, you know. Yeah, the multiple choice questions. What's up, Ralphie? Yeah, I have a short answer and essay sections on mine. So they got the blue book. You get a blue book, looks like that. You guys are familiar with these. So Talisman is better, Parn. You know, there's an interesting theory, Bill. By the way, this is all still waiting for the game to load. Oh man, there's an interesting theory, Bill, which says that that you sometimes, and I don't know, because my handwriting is not tremendous either. I might prefer to type than write, but I actually have heard a theory that suggests that handwriting actually is correlated with greater learning. So, for example, my daughter at her school, they ask her to do a lot of work with handwriting. She's in first grade, but as she gets older, they're going to want her to keep doing that, and the reason is because supposedly concepts that you're writing down as notes in handwriting is better biochemically wired into your brain because of the way that the neurons work than if you're just sort of typing it in or just sort of, you know, that. And of course, it also helps to have multiple methods of taking something in. So hearing it orally, seeing it written on the board, participating in discussion, interactive discussion, so that you're, all those things really help. But it's interesting that handwriting is sort of tied into the writing part of it also, so. Professional question. When I see my students trying to do tricks with you, like saying something you really doesn't stand, is when I realize to see how you play cat and mouse them. Oh, I get it, Net. Like, in other words, if he pretends that he's actually read something and he hasn't. I mean, normally what I do, I don't try to play gotcha with my students, but what I'll normally do is I mean, unless the student is being sort of blatantly, how do I put this? If they're being blatantly obvious with me and obnoxious about it, but honestly, I very, very seldom have students like that, honestly. I very seldom have this sort of obnoxious, I think I'm going to get one over on the teacher student. If I have someone who clearly hasn't read something and I ask them a question they clearly don't get it, I will sort of pass on, but then after the class, I will normally talk to them and be like, listen, you know, we both know that you didn't read this, so I need you to kind of pick up the pace a little bit. You know, I'll say that, but I'm not going to call them out in front of the entire class, and that is because the vast majority of the time, the vast majority of the time, you're going to lose that student if you embarrass them. Public humiliation is not a good method of education. It just isn't. So, yeah, all right, well, then you'd be dropping my class, Bill. I wouldn't make you handwrite everything. I mean, I actually even let people bring in typed notes and stuff like that, but the exams you have to write by hand, and if you don't want to do that, then yeah, you drop in my class then. I normally find that, you know, you're able, obviously, not only are you allowed to, but in fact I encourage people to type their essays. I don't want handwritten essays from people. So really the only thing I'm asking for people to actually write out are the two exams, a midterm and a final. And I think if you drop a class because of a midterm and a final, that's not what I agree with as a good strategy personally, but, you know. Yeah, no, I hear you, Thorg. Nice. What's up, Polar? Oh, so like in an exam? I may, yeah, occasionally if it's in an exam or a paper, I might say something like that, Ned. I might say something to the effect of like, do you really, I might say something to the effect of like, oh, it's interesting you bring this up. Of course, part of the reason is X, Y, or Z, you know? And saying that, get out of my way. Saying that is like obviously because of the situation that they're facing. So I can sometimes see that, yeah. Okay, that's the way of the dragon. I'm not going to deal with the dragon yet. I'm just not. So instead we're going to go this way. Let you know when I teach an online course. I will do that. You know, it's funny. I've heard other people talk about, we actually have the possibility I could teach an online course easily. I have to say, you know, I think it's funny because I think of all the people that I know around me, colleagues of mine, I'm probably one of the best suited to teach something like an online course because I'm pretty confident that very few college professors are on Twitch doing things. You know, like I feel like I'm more technologically savvy than the vast majority of college professors that I know. But having said that, I don't really... There we go. Having said that, though, I don't really think that... I mean, I do a lot of stuff already online. You know what I mean? I do, like, I make submissions for different, like, things that I'm doing online. Obviously, you know, I'm hanging out with you guys, doing Twitch online. I feel like I do so much stuff online. I don't want another thing that I do online. And I honestly think that in-person class teaching tends to be much more effective, in my view, than online courses. Now, there are some cases where online courses are very important. First of all, sometimes people have disabilities so that it sort of decreases access, and having an online course increases access for them. And for those people, that's incredibly important. So I'm totally behind that. And there's other cases where I think it can be really, really valuable. And so I wouldn't like say that all online courses are bad or anything like that. But I do think that in general, I would not say that as a rule, education should be mostly done online, just because my view is that most of the time it's helpful to have... Why is everyone fired up? I think it's helpful most of the time for people to be able to have this sort of live face-to-face interaction. That kind of thing. Hey, Nixon, what's up? Online would be the only way. No, man, you just got to move to New York. Or no, Dragon, there's another way. Dragon, there's another way. All you have to do is go to one of the conventions that I do, where I do workshops. Like I do a writing workshop at NorwestCon in Seattle. I do a writing workshop at Gen Con every year. That's in Indianapolis. And you guys should be going to that anyway because it's awesome. And I do a writing workshop thing at Origins in Columbus. So all you guys have to do is to go to one of those three. And then you can like have a sort of, you know, it's not exactly like a class, but it's a workshop where I'm helping with the writing, you know. That's what you should do. You don't have to come to New York. I mean, if you're welcome to come to New York. Goodness knows, I'd love to have more wonderful people in New York. The more the merrier. Still nervous I'm going to run into that dragon. Well, it depends, actually, 10, on the nature of the question. If it's a question that's sort of, like, more privately applicable, then you should PM me. But if you have, like, just a general question about, like, teaching or writing or something like that, then totally you can ask me here. But if it's something that's, like, a little bit more involved or more private, then probably PM would be better. But if it's, like, general interest, then you can talk to me about it here. It's fine. What's up, Royx? No, I'm with you, Bill. I find, like, yeah. Well, I mean, listen. New York's not going anywhere, Dragon. And with any luck, neither am I. Except this fox is!
One down!
Yeah, I'm with you, Bill, on that. I agree that online participation is much... I think it's the better way of teaching myself. I just think that's much more important.
There must be something here.
Make her take you.
Make her take this ram. Oh, yeah. No. That's, yeah. I hear stuff like that sometimes, Bill, and I'm just like, man, I don't even know what to say. It's so ridiculous. Teaching it as a punishment. That's really a good way to get people really fired up about writing, is to make them associate it with negative things. Well done, guys. Way to understand basic behavioral principles. Good job. G freaking G. Speaking of GG, have a cage. Super effective. I love that cage, man. Exactly, Smacky. That's exactly right, Nat. Well, that and there's other things. Like I said, it also has to do with the way the brain works, too. Sometimes it's actually indicative that your brain tends to work a little bit differently. Ooh, that could be good. Works a little bit differently than when you're typing. They've done studies to sort of demonstrate that. So again, as I say, now I say this as someone who is himself not, I'm not a big handwriting guy. Really? Oh, yes, do I get a real helmet? Oh, yes. Okay, that looks dumb. But I think it looks less dumb than my last one. God, man, they so need to work on their helmet designs. Good God. Look, I'm a mage, but I'm wearing a helmet. So stupid. Hey, Philly, what's up? Philly, how are you? I mean, you know, the truth is, too, that as far as, like, some of the stuff, too, like, sometimes I think teachers think that online courses are going to be easier. And to my mind, there's nothing easier about it. I mean, online courses, to me, seem like a lot of work to actually prep for and arrange. And I don't know. Just for me, the live experience is more effective to me. And some people are like, well, then, yeah, but you can do, like, Skype things and Skype chats and video chats. I'm like, yes, at what point does this stop being an online class then? You know, if everything's the same except that we're just not in the same room together, then I don't really see the point. Other than, again, as I said, access, sometimes there's issues of distance for various reasons. So I would never say that should be removed. But, ooh, look at that. Yeah, there you go. That's a little bit... There haven't been as many Skyrim moments in this game graphically, but... Oh, interesting, Thorg. Yeah. Hey, what's up, duty? Yeah, again, Thorg, like that sort of gotcha teaching is not interesting to me. I don't see the point for that. Studying for your final, yeah, I'll bet it is, Philly. The other thing I want to say about the plagiarism and cheating thing, I haven't had any of it this semester. Normally, I get a couple papers a semester, 2, maybe 3 at most. And definitely it decreased. When I first started, it was like 5 or 6 a semester at least. And then the word got out that I could find it very easily, and so people stopped doing it. But the thing that kills me about it is, I don't really understand why, beyond the fact that it's just sort of hurting your own project, right? I mean, it's hurting it yourself. But beyond that, I don't really understand, like, the amount of work that it would take you to hide and conceal cheated thing.
Sound the alarm at the first sign of demons.
The hell? Close the Fade Rift. Okay, I gotta go down and take care of that. But the amount of work, I just want to finish this thought. The amount of work that would be involved in actually getting your work to actually not seem suspicious, you might as well just do the work. You know what I mean? Because the bottom line is the people who get to this point and don't want to do the work, those people who don't want to do the work, they end up producing a paper that's so obviously cribbed and so obviously not taken from their own writing, because remember, I've had samples of their writing all semester, that it's like, it's useless, you know what I mean? And so, and then again, I'm sure there's 1 or 2 that have snuck through with a paper. I'm sure I haven't caught everyone. I've had, you know, thousands, I've had over 1,000 students at this point in my career. So I'm sure at some point, one student got through, a couple students got through with something. But even if they managed to somehow get through all of it, all they've really done is screwed themselves because they haven't learned the material. So, I mean, to me, it's just nonsense. So, and yes, they do have software. Colleges have this thing called turnitin.com. I don't actually use it because I find the other thing, the way that I stop plagiarism, in addition to many other things which I won't go into, is I try to assign topics that are more interesting I should say, topics that are less easy to plagiarize. So, for example, I'm teaching a revenge tragedy course, and their final paper assignment was to take some of the characteristics and themes of the revenge tragedies that we studied this semester, plays like Hamlet and Medea, and plays by Seneca and The White Devil and the Duchess of Malfi and West Side Story, things like that. Take some of those themes and apply them to real-life situations of revenge. So the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, gang warfare, the former conflict in Northern Ireland, the situation in Cyprus, cases like that. Court cases even. And so the result is, first of all, the students find that interesting. Secondly, I'm interested in getting their information. And thirdly, there's not like a lot of people who've wrote a paper about how Medea taught me aspects of revenge that I then was able to use to analyze this real life situation of revenge. So there's a lot of things that professors can do to cut down on it as well. So. No, I mean, I'm sure there have been a few, Net, but not a lot. I'm pretty confident not a lot. Maria, I just met a girl named Maria. Hey, Flat. I don't know why my helmet looks so stupid to me. The Fade Rift, I've got to close that Fade Rift, because I know it's bad. It's really gonna be bad for me. Oh, Fade Rift, say it loud and there's music playing. Say it soft. And it's almost like, why did you attack me? I'm running. I'll never stop running. Ow! I'm tanking. I'm tanking. You should be tanking. I'm disrupting the rift. No, can you tank, please? God damn, man. Close that rift. I'm actually, if you read the Sons of San Horn type of stuff, I'm actually very pleased. It's a Fade Rift.
We don't know what these rifts can do.
Hold on a second.
That one appeared to alter the time around it.
Fiona.
Make her have mercy. It's over. Open the gates.
All right, I got to go find out what's going on with Fiona. I'm actually very pleased. Hey, Glog. What's up, man? So, I'm actually very happy with John. What's up, Game Misconduct also? Hey, Cage Wisdom. Sorry, guys. I'm very, very pleased with the moves. I like John Lester a lot. Guy won 2 World Series. He beat cancer. I mean, he's a good guy. I wish him the best of luck. But I'm sorry, you do not spend that kind of money on a pitcher who is going to be 36 by the end of it. I don't begrudge it to him, but I think it would have been crazy for the Red Sox to match that offer. And my opinion is that they ended up getting a guy in Rick Porcello who's a pretty good pitcher for way less money, and they didn't just need Lester. It's not enough to just have Lester. They needed other people. They needed, they got Miley. I still think they should try to get. I don't know that I would get in on Max Scherzer. I think if they go and they get Max Scherzer and they spend a fortune on him, then I don't understand the deal. But assuming they don't do that, I have no real complaints with him at all. I got to be honest.
Oh, hi. I just saw that.
You saw what? What? Congrats me to the next interview. Yeah, everyone say hi to my wife. Hi, wife. Say hi to Mrs. Arp.
I'm gonna go check out the Santa pic. See how it
Oh, the Santa pic? Oh, you got to bring it because I'm going to have to show them. I want to see the Santa pics too. Yeah, Max Scherzer, Cespedes. Yeah, exactly. The Yankees want Scherzer too. You know what? Good. Let them go out and spend $1 trillion for Max Scherzer. I mean, Scherzer's real good. There's no way he's worth Scott Boras style money, which is what he wants for him. You know. Joe, bless you. Hi, Mrs. Professor. Worship the sun. If you knew a human to pray to, pray to Joe Pesci. That's awesome. Yeah, exactly, Mercurius. I think Porcello is in, and don't forget too, Porcello is 29. By the time Porcello is done with this deal, even if they extend him, he's going to be like 33 as opposed to Lester, who's going to be 36. I'm sorry. I think the Red Sox did a good job. I don't, not to mention then that they also picked up Sandoval. You know, they got Hanley Ramirez. I mean, they're in good shape. And you know, a lot of people are like, oh, they just traded Lester for Porcello. It's a bad deal. I'm like, yes, if you ignore their ages, if you ignore the money, if you ignore everything about it, then yes, that's what they did. Fortunately, though, most people don't, you know, the guys who run these things don't listen to sports radio. Because, I mean, good God, man. And also, thank you, Glog. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, again, I just want you guys to know, keep in mind that the only person who saved you guys from being browbeaten by me for not having told me about this awesome game, The Elegy for a Dead World, like this incredible concept. We'll see if it's an awesome game, but the concept's incredible, is Glog. Because I literally was like, I found out about the game. I'm like, why did no one tell me about this? And then I turned around, and there's Glog. And Glog is like, and Glog had posted on Twitter, hey, and posted a link, hey, have you seen this game? Like, oh my God. So good, thank God, is all I can say that for Glog. Hashtag, thank God. Thank Glog. And she's gone. Your classmate said David Eddings copied Rowling? That'd be kind of difficult since David Eddings came before Rowling. Also, they're not connected at all. Like, what is Rowling? Rowling and Eddings don't write the same kind of thing in the least. He didn't know who EAP was. Yeah. What's up, Messiah? Good to see you, man. Thank Glog. Yep. Hashtag Glog. Never forget. All right.
We spread word the Inquisition was coming. But you should know that no one here was expecting us.
No one? Not even Grand Enchanter Fiona?
If she was, she hasn't told anyone. We've arranged use of the tavern for the negotiations.
Agents of the Inquisition, my apologies. Magister Alexius is in charge now, but hasn't yet arrived. He's expected shortly. You can speak with the former Grand Enchanter in the meantime.
Former Grand Enchanter? Something is very wrong here.
We should talk to the Grand Enchanter.
Yes, we should. I want to actually know exactly what the hell's going on here. Why were they not informed about us? Fiona invited us directly. It's a tarp. I'm telling you, it's a tarp. This would, of course, completely break immersion. But I have to say, if I ever had something like that happen, and I looked over to the right, and there was a big mural of Admiral Akbar on the wall, I would absolutely crack. I would die laughing. That would, oh God. I would love those people forever. Of course, it would be terrible, breaking immersion, blah, blah, blah. But you can imagine, you walk into like an obvious ambush, you look up to the right, and there's a picture of Admiral Akbar. Nobody expects the Inquisition. I don't actually remember if, I don't know if that's true if Eddings co-wrote everything with his wife. I'm not sure about that. I just know that Eddings came before Rowling, and I certainly know that Eddings had nothing whatsoever to do. Rowling and Eddings do not rate the same kind of stuff. No, I didn't actually hear that game. Who is it?
And his word became all that might be.
Dragon Age X Knight of the Old Republic. There you go, it's happening. I have nothing against David Eddings. Eddings is fine, but I mean the idea that he had anything to do with Rowling or the reverse is silly. They're not similar writers at all. You've been admiraled. Knights of the Old Republic X. The admiraling. The Akbaring. Akbar strikes back. Discovered Red Cliff Village. Some question marks going on over here. Guys, I feel like we should go here. It's in my wheelhouse. A very Merry Christmas in Madison. Who is it? Who is it, game? Did Jim Harbaugh randomly decide? Okay, I can't get in there. Did he randomly decide to leave the 49ers and go to Wisconsin? Thank you, Glog.
Mother, I had the dream again last night.
No, there'll be no talk of it.
It was so real. And when I woke up, the sheets were as cold as ice.
They're as cold as ice.
What do you mean?
You're willing to sacrifice that dream. You never take advice. Someday you'll pay the price, I know. I've seen it before, it happens all the time. You've got that dream, you're going on behind. You're digging for gold. But someday you'll pay. Paul Christ. Oh God, Sir Bruceable. What's up, man? It's funny because actually, Glog, I did not like Dragon Age Inquisition for the first 2 sessions that I played it. So like the first 6-7 hours, I was very lukewarm about it. I thought it was really aimless. Like, for example, that person you just saw pop in like nobody's business was like, that was happening all the time. And I just felt like I was like, what is going on here? But it has picked up considerably. Once I got out of the hinterlands, all of a sudden things started to pick up a lot in terms of different plots and like different things, and the whole like recruitment plot is starting to happen. So what's going on with that guy? So I'm starting to like it. Yes, and Tolkien. That pause ruined it. Tell me about Red Cliff Village.
Tell me about your people.
They say a spirit dwells in a small lake south of the highway. The girls of the village bring it daisies and ask for love, but rarely does it listen. For 'tis a spirit of valor, not love.
Guys doing laps?
And it favors blood lotus flowers.
Yeah, I don't understand it, Bill. I was talking about this yesterday. Like, what is that guy doing? What are you doing? What's going on, bro? I demand that you listen to me. Listen to me all now. No? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, to me it was like, why would you start the game in the sort of mindless MMO quest area? I just don't understand why you would do that. It just seems very odd to me.
Come from ancient dreams of blood and bone, lost to the memory of man. Be wary of them.
What do we got here? Hello, widower.
Ah, Senna, my darling. For the first time in all these years, I fear I will
What's
not
up, Cujo?
be your ashes. What world is it
Cujo!
that demons and brigands stop a man from taking flowers to his wife's shrine?
I can take him.
What if I took flowers to your wife's shrine for you?
I do not know what to say, except thank you. I never expected anyone not of the blood to care. My Senna would be grateful. Her shrine lies on a hill to the west, near the tablestones. Thank you.
Stay safe.
I also have a theory. I have a theory, by the way, that the helmet, the sort of uniform design, someone like got to them from BioWare, from like the Star Wars team, and everything that they're doing is basically just Star Wars outfits. I feel like that's, look at it from the side. That looks like a Star Wars helmet to me. Like half of the outfits they wear look like Star Wars random helmets. Like, I don't, and like outfits. I don't. Paul Christ was the one who got Russell Wilson transferred to Wisconsin. The offensive coordinator, the Badgers, dropping 70. Oh, nice, dude. Okay. I think I know who you're talking about now. That's awesome, game. Good job, man. All right, there you go, Dragon. Exactly 10. See? Well, I think it would depend on what you mean by done the same. I mean, remember, you're talking to a guy who really liked Mass Effect, so... I know that's not the case for everybody, but I really liked the Mass Effect series, so... Oh my god, a dwarven bookseller. Yes! I must speak to you, dwarven bookseller.
I'll never get over that sky. Ooh.
That's it? Come on, man. Don't want to sell me some books? Do you have a book called Icarus? How about The Third Sign? Hmm? You're a bookseller and you're selling this stuff? Ooh. Kite Shield. There's a lot of good stuff. Wow. Let's get that. Let's get the Kite Shield. Get the curved staff grip. Nice. And actually, let me sell some stuff too. It's a front, right? What's up, burner? Unlimited power. Sons of Apathy. Oh, man. The triumphant conclusion to Sons of Apathy. I really am troubled by the firm hunting longbow. Keep those. Okay. That's fine. I don't know. I mean, Inam is here. He can back me up on this. I think that whole thing about how it became a shooter is just so overblown. I think, you know, Mass Effect 1, for me, the order is, it goes Mass Effect, my favorites are Mass Effect 2, then 1, slightly over 3, but it's very close. And I liked a lot of things about Mass Effect 3. I mean, I have to be honest. I just think that a lot of that whole, like, oh, they made it into a shooter. I mean, it was not... First of all, it's a science fiction RPG, okay? It doesn't work as a fantasy, let me run up and melee them in turn-based combat. I mean, that's not how it was designed to be. And I felt like, now, personally, being an infiltrator... you know, having an opportunity to be sniping from a distance and, like, the Black Widow and all this stuff made me feel like a badass. And I thought there were incredible amounts of epic scenes in that game. Now, it's not perfect. I didn't love everything about it. But there was a lot of epic stuff about it, and there were aspects of ME1, like that god-awful inventory system, that I think they actually improved and streamlined. So I just thought that ME3 got a lot of irrational hate. I know a lot of it has to do with the ending. And by the time I got to play the game, they had already put in the extended cut. So I was like, the ending was great. I liked the ending. But, you know. Does he carry the Eye of Argon? Let's find out. Okay, so I just click on it and read it. Oh, I got something. Okay, the Carta. What is the Carta? Characters. Ah, Grand Enchanter Fiona. I never actually read this. Yeah, I really like those. Yeah, exactly, Messiah. I mean, come on. Knights of the Old Republic is samurais with lightsabers. Okay, I mean, that's what Star Wars is. And I loved it. Don't get me wrong. It's great. But it's not, I mean, it is science fiction technically, but that's science fantasy, really. Yeah, that I don't know. I never played Dead Space, but I think I watched, maybe it was Sirius playing a little bit of it. Grand Enchanter Fiona is considered an anomaly among mages. She is, for instance, the only member of the Circle of Magi ever to leave due to recruitment by the Grey Wardens and then return. The circumstances of that return are largely unknown, but the notoriety she gained within the Circle allowed her to rise rapidly in the ranks. She became first Enchanter of the Montsamar Tower and then elected Grand Enchanter at the College in Cumberland. The latter was based on her advocacy for greater mage freedom, a view she claimed her time with the Wardens supported. Urging for a vote on the matter led to the College of Enchanters' dissolution in 940 Dragon, and then when a vote was attempted secretly, to Lord Seeker Lambert of the Seekers of Truth arresting Fiona and her fellow enchanters. Following their flight to the ruin of Andoril's Reach, the escaped mages held and passed a final vote on the Circle of Magi's independence. This began the Mage Rebellion. While Fiona no longer holds the official position of Grand Enchanter, most mages still consider her an integral part of the rebellion's leadership. God, I love the art, man. I really do. I was just going to say that, 10. Yeah, I love the art on the cards. I really do love it. For months we were also certain Lord Seeker Lambert's death was an assassination carried out by mages. He had, after all, declared the Never and Accord null and void, hurling us headlong into a war against the rebels. Why else would he be killed except as an act of retribution? The entire Templar Order was fired up, ready to take up the fight against the mages, something we were sure would be over in a matter of weeks. Thus the election of Lucas Corrin to the role made me despair. According to the few Seekers of Truth with whom I spoke, he was a moderate. He agreed to the Divine's conclave, and every Templar I knew felt certain he would compromise to see the war ended. But lately the man seems different, does he not? I never met him before he assumed command, but even in this short time his opinions on the war have turned. He did not go to the conclave he personally supported. In fact, he seems to regret supporting it at all. He talks of the Templars establishing themselves as a power in our own right, and our fellows were all too eager to listen. I don't know from where this change of heart came, but I began to wonder if Lambert's death wasn't as simple a matter as we assumed. Something is amiss within our order, and all I know is that it's beyond me to discover what. From a letter written by an unknown Templar found in a burned-out fort, 941 Dragon. I think he's possessed by a demon somehow. I've been thinking that from the very beginning. Absolutely, it's a space opera for sure. I don't know. You would hope so, Flat. I would like to see, obviously, some more of that. Sarah. This report by Josephine has been defaced numerous times in a different hand. On Sarah, Red Jenny, and Velissima Lady Parts von Knucklefronts. It falls to me to comment on this Red Jenny, for as a creature of the court I must have seen the effect of her actions, although I cannot be certain. Does that make them effective or ineffective? What I know is that she has vexed city's guardsmen across Thetis, and always escaped. Accessing all available records, it seems clear that there have been multiple embodiments of the name, often at the same time. The limitations of communication are such that this is impossible to verify in the moment. A crude drawing of a guard with her breeches at her ankles. What is her thing about the taking the breeches from the guard? What is Sarah's obsession with? I don't know. Crazy. This one disagrees. Wait, no. This one disagrees with you, Thorg. This one finds that one to be in disagreement with the other ones. All I gotta say is Thane, man. Thane. Hey, what's up, Frosty? How are you doing, Frosty? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. The severity of the attributed actions vary wildly, from petty to outright vicious. While official reports label these actions unfair, I have knowledge of many named as victims, and several are of suspect character. Sarah would call them something altogether untoward. Yes, Mum. Shits, the lot of them. There are tales of Red Jenny targeting criminals, slavers, and even assassins' guilds. The benefit of having a local is that they are invested in regional concerns, although this obviously varies. I can discern no protocol. Don't need a title to be awful and deserve it. So who is our Red Jenny? She has been amusing herself in Val Royeaux for some time, although it is clear from her accent that she is deeply Ferelden. She met with outright laughter at my inquiry as to whether she had any special elven concerns that I could address. I have confirmed with Liliana about the danger of this group, and our estimation is that this incarnation of Red Jenny is at least a good distraction. Oh, the scary one cares. Shares crazy. Star Wars on ice. Oh my god, that has to happen. Can you imagine? They're like floating on the ice, and all of a sudden Admiral Akbar comes up. It's a tarp! Magic is dangerous just as fire is dangerous. Anyone who forgets this truth gets burned. As an assiduous and talented scholar, Vivian rose rapidly through the ranks of Monsamar's circle. When made a full-fledged enchanter, she alleged to join no fraternity, a decision that shocked colleagues but may have been a calculated maneuver. When she successfully applied to be appointed enchanter to the imperial court, nearly every fraternity clamored for her favor in hopes of having a representative at the Empress's ear. She was voted first enchanter of Monsamart at an age young enough to cause scandal. The circle widely regards her as the most shrewd and disciplined mage in Orlais. Logical. The Carta. This is the one I just read about. The castless dwarves of Orzammar have few prospects. Consigned to live in a crumbling ruin on the social and economic fringes of the mighty dwarven capital, most resort to begging, prostitution, or crime. Just as all rivers eventually join the sea, all castless who turn to crime eventually become part of the Carta. The hero of Ferelden decimated the ranks of this ancient gang while rallying the dwarves to join in the battle against the archdemon Earthamiel. Unable to recover the power they once had in Orzammar, they turned their attention topside, using groups of surface-dwelling dwarves to smuggle weapons, lyrium, surface luxuries, people, and other goods between Orzammar and human lands. Despite the flow of business, its members are still desperate and violent. With no strong leader to rein in their excesses, they have little sense of dwarven honor, and freely break their word, double-cross allies, and renege on deals. The Stone and Her Children, Dwarves of the Dragon Age by Brother Jenna TV. I love these little bits. Okay, good night, Ralphie. And goodbye, Frosty. Thanks for stopping by, Frosty. Thanks, Ralphie. Good night. Goodbye, everyone who's leaving. Yeah, my daughter has watched Disney on Ice several times. Big fan. I would love to be able to do little bits of these lore. I've done this before with some of the, with a couple of card games I've talked about, like Ascension. I did some of the character and flavor work for this. I love doing this kind of stuff. Let's see. Let's see, notes from Sir Cater, traveling merchant to his son Herbal. They're a distraction, whichever they are, keeps people busy in the Lord's edgy. And with the assaults not having any bearing, we've been paid to strike a guest rival several times now. Bards should pay her a commission. Anonymous. My father went after her once. You want to lose your friends fast? Just say you're tracking hers. He found a report that said she was killed in Navarra. Everyone in that command, to a man, dead or hobbled or somehow lost their claims during the winter following. Know when that was written? 52 years ago. I'll take a witch over whatever she is. Let her pick at the nobles. I think it's nature. Recommendations of Clampton Varn, private militiaman contracted in Denerim. How's it work? You tell me how to tell. Ask for something bad to happen. Eventually something does. Did she do it? Does it matter? Either way, you think you had a peace. Maybe that's enough. Interview at a Montsamar tavern, no name given. I know it was her. Keys do not simply go missing. And the horses, I suppose they were loosed quite by accident? And the fires that swept the southern quarter, the flooding in my summer home, the drop in the price of trade goods that just happened to coincide with my plans to sell my investments, the cholera I suffered last season, the weather that is inclement whenever I'm traveling. You cannot tell me all these things were mere happenstance. Perhaps your disbelief is her doing as well. You're dismissed. Everyone is dismissed. The scattered notes of Ban Markle. You're dismissed. A dismissal for you. A dismissal for you. A dismissal for you. Triple axle. There you go. Oh, yeah. Darth Vader and Luke with lightsabers. I dig it. Oh, God. Every Star Wars person would flip their lid, man. The tale outlined above is wide. Oh, I always start at the bottom. The Blight had ravaged the land for months. The armies of the great king amassed for one last stand. As the sun burst through the clouds that boiled and churned in the dark sky, it illuminated a vast seething horde of darkspawn with the archdemon at its head. It was then, when courage seemed to fail and all lost to death and despair, that the Grey Wardens came. They arrived with the beating of wings like mighty war drums and stood before the armies of men. The Grey Wardens, grim and fearless, marched forth, ever between men and the encroaching darkspawn. They formed a shield of their own bodies and held that line, hold the line, until the archdemon was dead and the last darkspawn lay trampled in the pit. In the dirt, rather. Then, demanding neither reward nor recognition for their sacrifice, the Grey Wardens departed. When the clouds rolled back and the sun shone full upon the blighted ground, the great kings knew that they had lost no men, that none of their blood had been spilled. This is a tale about no battle the Grey Wardens have fought, and yet about them all. They have always defended us from the darkspawn, taking losses so we do not have to. Adaptation of a Grey Warden legend. The tale outlined above is widely told, although subject to regional variations. Free Marchers might substitute Great Kings for titles bestowed in their given city-states. In Ferelden, the implied army of Wardens is sometimes replaced with two, representative of the national heroes who fought and defeated the archdemon at Denerim during the Fifth Blight. The beating of wings is a reference to the griffins the Wardens are said to have ridden into battle. Although griffins went extinct long before the recent Blight, they still appear in numerous stories, sometimes serving as a metaphor for the Warden's unrestrained courage, but also employed to please an eager audience. From Tales of the Wardens by Sister Manon. Hang in there, Fisk. The people of the Qun are perhaps the least understood group in Thedas. The Qunari Wars are brutal, but so is the Chantry Schism. So is the fall of the Imperium. Some of this misunderstanding is an accident of nature. The race we call Qunari are formidable. Nature has given them fierce horns and strange eyes, and the ignorant look on them and see monsters. Some is an accident of language. Few among the Qun's people speak the common tongue, and fewer speak it well. In a culture that strives for mastery, to have only a passable degree of skill is humiliating indeed, and so they often keep quiet among foreigners out of shame. But much of it is a result of the culture itself. The Qunari view their whole society as a single creature, a living entity whose health and well-being are the responsibility of all. Each individual is only a tiny part of the whole, a drop of blood in its veins, important not for itself but for what it is to the whole creature. Because of this, the Qunari most outsiders meet belong to the army, which the Qun regards as if it were the physical body, arms, legs, eyes, and ears, the things a creature leads in order to interact with the world. One cannot get to know a person solely by studying his hand or his foot, and so one cannot truly meet the Qunari until one has visited their cities. That is where their mind and soul dwell. In Seran and Par Valen, one can truly see the Qunari in their entirety. There, the unification of the Qunari into a single being is most evident. Workers, whom the Qun calls the mind, produce everything the Qunari require. The soul, the priesthood, seeks a greater understanding of the self, the world, and exhorts the body and mind to continually strive for perfection. The body serves as the go-between for the mind, the soul, and the world. Everyone and everything has a place decided by the Qun in which they live for the good of the whole. It is life of certainty, of equality, if not individuality. From the writings of the Seer of Kantar, 841, blessed. Okay. Interesting. Ah, cute, Nixon. And that's true, misconduct. Man, the Knicks are having some trouble, huh? I'm a Celtics fan. I wonder if the Celtics are winning tonight. The wrath of heaven. Those who oppose thee shall know the wrath of heaven. Field and forest shall burn. The seas shall rise and devour them. The wind shall tear their nations from the fact of the earth. Lightning shall rain down from the sky. They shall cry out to their false gods and find silence. Canticle of Andraste, 7:19. Who was Andraste? This question has lingered in the ages since her death. Hey, Shadowed, what's up, man? Not as easily answered as the faithful assume. Born an Alamari slave in the frontier realm of the Tevinter Imperium, now Ferelden, the chant says she is the bride of the Maker, that he told her in a vision of her role leading the rebellion against the corrupt magisters. Is it true, or, as some early Andrastian cults believed, did a friendly spirit bestow this vision? We must remember that legends of Andraste were multitude in the years immediately following her execution, and beliefs we take for granted belong to the cult victorious in suppressing all others. Indeed, even to suggest there was once disagreement was considered the direst heresy, until today, when we have lost either the memory of disagreement. All we know for certain is that Andraste inspired a world gripped by tyranny and chaos, that she helped spark a war which tore all of Thedas asunder. From Question the Chant by Magister Vibius Agorian. Yeah, Celtics, Messiah. It's called the Boston Celtics. They have a soft C. I know that in Ireland it's called Celtics, but it's actually called the Boston Celtics, which I've always kind of liked. I kind of prefer the Celtics to Celtics myself, but anyway. After extensive study of the Qunari specimens you kindly provided, I've come to the conclusion that the painted markings on their face and body are not in fact solely for ceremonial purpose, but provide a practical benefit. Oh, I'm certain there is some cultural significance to the patterns and colors they choose, but the Qunari do nothing without purpose, yes? They call these markings Vitar, which in their tongue means poison armor. It's called this because the markings are magical in nature and actually harden their skin to an iron-like quality without hindering flexibility, and my analysis says the paint consists largely of poison. It's mixed with something else, blood, perhaps their own, and that neutralizes the poison, but only for one with Qunari physiology. Anyone else would perish almost instantly, which reminds me, I'll kindly require another body slave. Yeesh. The process activates the magical qualities of the poison, which provides the protective effects almost in the same manner that lyrium runes do. How this works and whether it can be used for our purposes will require further study. Perhaps some live specimens this time? From a letter written by Nemeria Oreganis, apprentice to Magister Varus, Dragon 932. Yeesh. It's a little creepy. Captain Kirk de Soleil. Nice head. That's a good one, Nixon. Oh, man. And I love Cirque du Soleil, too. Love it. All right, Redcliffe. Did most of these last night, but these are some of the ones we had to catch up on. King Caelan Theron once famously declared, the fate of Redcliffe is the fate of all Ferelden. Certainly the castle is the first and last defense for the sole land route into Ferelden, and the country has never fallen to any force that did not first capture Redcliffe. The castle, which despite being 3 times captured is popularly described as unassailable, also guards one of the largest and most prosperous towns in Ferelden. Redcliffe village is well situated near the mountain pass to Orzammar on the Orlesian border, and so serves as a center of foreign trade. For these reasons, Redcliffe is accounted an Arling despite the smallness of the domain. The inhabitants of Redcliffe village are primarily fishermen or merchants who ship dwarven goods through the pass from Orlais to Denerim. When the entire village smells of smoked fish on certain late autumn mornings, the merchants in their finery do their utmost to pretend otherwise. From In Pursuit of Knowledge, The Travels of a Chantry Scholar by Brother Genetivi. The events of the Ferelden Civil War left Redcliffe in tatters. Its reconstruction has been a slow process, but the city has made a remarkable recovery after its ordeal at the hands of young Lord Conor Garin. After the Battle of Denerim, Arl Aemon gave the Arling over to his younger brother in order to devote his full attention to advising the throne. He left the new Arl Tagan with the monumental task of rebuilding the town and perhaps the even greater challenge of dealing with the influx of mages into the area following the breaking of the circles. From the Changing Face of Thetis by Sister Petri and Chantry Scholar. Interesting. Khan! There you go, Flat. Yep. Four Shores. Nightingale's eyes. Nightingale's eyes, what secret lies in their worth? Ravens' tears they cry, but all the while they softly lie and spy on you. Oh, about this poetry. Nightingale's eyes, what will they find left behind? Craven master spy with heart remiss, for those who could not find the truth. We're blinded, so we're hiding, dying to be. We're hiding from the fighting, longing to see. We're waiting for someone to speak and set us all free. Nightingale's eyes can free the ties on our hands. Craven master spies, can they find the key that can unlock the past? We're hiding from the finding, longing to see. We're waiting for someone to speak and set us all free, free. As performed by the bard Meriden Halewell. Thank you, Kushmar. Welcome to the Arvanauts. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Can we get a exclamation point new follower for Kushmar? Man, I was seeing that. I was hoping for something more like blackbird singing in the edge of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. Once we were in our peace with our lives assured. Once we were. I love Blackbird. However, it probably doesn't fit this song. Not Afraid of the Dark. Commands, unfortunately, is still broken. We got to work on commands. I got to figure out, reach out to Cambridge and get that fixed. So, apologies. Once we sat in our kingdom with hope and pride. Once we ran through the fields with great strides. We held the fade and the demon's flight so far from our children and from our lives. We held together the fragile sky to keep our way of life. Once we raised up our chalice in victory. Once we sat in the light of our dreams. Once we were in our homeland with strength and might. Once we were not afraid of the night. It was performed by the bard Meriden Halewell. Thank you for the follow, Get Your Fill. Divinity, we're hoping to bring back actually over winter break. So in a couple of weeks, I'm hoping to do a couple of marathon sessions of Series 1298. I haven't given up on it. It's just too busy and too many games, man. But we are going to try to bring it back if we can. I have not streamed Gauntlet, though. I may at some point, but again, that's one of those so many games, so little time type of deals, you know? Okay. Oh, Blackbird's a great song. You were only waiting for this moment to arrive. Blackbird fly, blackbird fly, into the light of the dark black night. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 do 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 do.
Of course.
The Gull and Lantern. Whoa. Hello, bird. Thank you, Shadowed. Alright. Let's save that. Okay, folks. So in about 8 minutes, it's 7:30. I'm going to take my first break. And I'm going to have to figure out how to fit dinner in here as well. But hopefully sometime I'll be able to get some dinner in over the next hour. But, sorry. But anyway, so we're about 10 minutes away. We will take about a 10-minute break, just letting people know. Actually, 5-minute break, sorry. But first, the Gull and Lantern. Yeah, welcome into the Arvanauts, Gitchville. And now time for a 450-minute... That's an awesome card. Loading screen. That's an awesome card. Look at that art. I love the art, man. So cool. Look at that. Good stuff. Good to see you, Fallen, by the way. Eat live on stream. Nope. Eating on stream is a bad idea. If it's like snacks, if it's like I'm eating like some peanuts or, you know, like some carrots or, you know, drinking some water, that's fine. But like meal, no. So many reasons as to why that's a bad idea. Dragon Age dinner. Then it becomes Dragon Age Inquisition. What are you eating? Dragon Age. Share with the chat. Oh my god, these load times. All right, here we go.
Welcome, agents of the Inquisition. First Enchanter Vivienne?
My dear Fiona, it's been so long since we last spoke. You look dreadful. Are you sleeping well?
What has brought you to Redcliffe?
I like that little shot from Vivian. Whoa, look at the sparklies. Let's see. Oh, I'm going to say she invited me here. She's going to say that she didn't, and this was all some plot.
We're here because of your invitation back in Val Royeaux.
Yep.
You must be mistaken. I haven't been to Val Royeaux since before the conclave.
Shapeshifter. Booyah.
If it wasn't you who invited me here, who was it?
I don't know. Now that you say it, I feel strange. Whoever or whatever brought you here, the situation has changed.
Someone has screwed this up.
The free mages have already pledged themselves to the service of the Tevinter Imperium.
What?
Fiona, dear, your dementia is showing.
An alliance with Tevinter? Do you not fear all of Thedas turning against you?
As one indentured to a magister, I no longer have the authority to negotiate with you.
What?
What about the giant hole in the veil that's spewing demons everywhere? You're just going to pretend it isn't there.
I'm just saying.
I am not forgetting the breach, but we can only fight one war at a time.
How about you fight the real war, lady?
The Templar threat was immediate. If we live, we can worry about the torn veil.
You won't have a chance by then.
Welcome, my friends. I apologize for not greeting you earlier.
Oh my god, these hats.
Agents of the Inquisition, allow me to introduce Magister Girion Alexius.
What is with the hoods,
The Southern
guy?
Mages are under my command. And you are the survivor, yes? The one from the faith.
Are you doing Mario cosplay? What is this? Are you like evil Yoshi? What the hell are you? What is that hat? I
haven't seen any sign of Redcliffe's Arl or his men.
The Arl of Redcliffe left the village.
What?
Arl Tegan did not abandon his lands during the Blight.
There's something very
even
wrong
when they
here.
were under siege.
There were tensions growing. I did not want an incident.
This is really, really creepy.
I'd like to know more about this alliance between the rebel mages and the
I think
Imperium.
add quote, I believe,
Certainly.
Shadowed.
What specifically do you wish to know?
Let's start with this indentured.
The Grand Enchanter told me she was indentured to a magister.
Our southern brethren have no legal status in the Imperium. As they were not born citizens of Tevinter, they must work for a period of 10 years before gaining full rights. As their protector, I shall oversee their work for the Imperium.
This is garbage. What is going on here, man? This is garbage.
I'm not clear on when exactly you negotiated this arrangement with Fiona.
When the Conclave was destroyed, these poor souls faced the brutality of the Templars
I like that one, Shadow.
who rushed to attack them. It could only be through divine providence that I arrived when I did.
Really?
It was certainly very timely.
This is so
What does the
sketchy.
Imperium gain from taking rebel mages under its wing?
I know,
For the
Messiah.
moment, the Southern Mages are a considerable expense. After they are properly trained,
That stutter
they
is
will
annoying.
join
It's a BioWare
our
issue. They know about it.
You said not all my people would be military. There are children, those not suited.
And one day I'm sure they will all be productive citizens of the Imperium when their debts are paid.
If you're leading the mages now, then let's talk. I'm sure we can come to an arrangement.
It is always a pleasure to meet a reasonable man.
Something is screwed up here.
Felix, would you send for a scribe, please?
I don't like any of
Pardon my
this.
manners.
I don't like any of this at all.
I'm not surprised you're here. Containing the breach is not a feat that many could even attempt. There is no telling how many mages would be needed for such an endeavor. Ambitious, indeed.
Does that mean you'll lend your mages to our cause?
There will have to be.
The hell?
Felix?
Oh, snap.
My lord, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me.
Are you all right?
I'm fine, Father.
Come, I'll get your powders. Please excuse me, friends. We will have to continue this another time. Fiona, I require your assistance back at the castle.
I don't mean to trouble everyone.
The hell?
I shall send word to the Inquisition. We will conclude this business at a later date.
We don't have time, bro. The crap?
Come to the Chantry. You are in danger.
The son gave him a letter. Oh, snap. So the son gave me a letter. Really?
We'll be careful, but we need to figure out what's going on here.
Yes, we do need to figure it out. First, it's time to pick up a new song. This peaceful interlude brought to you by BioWare Music Services. Okay. Ah!
Maker, I hope it's not me.
Alright. First of all, dude, I need to talk to a few people in this tavern.
Alexius wishes only mages to remain in Redcliffe. He will approve of you. He does not approve of me. Many villagers have already left to escape his ire.
We gotta talk a little bit. I gotta find out what's going on in this
Has a
town.
history with mages, doesn't it? Do you know the details?
This is like the Mass Effect,
During the last blight,
Hold on a
the
minute.
Jarl of Redcliffe became ill. Not even the efforts of the Circle could save him. His young son, who was an undiscovered mage, made a deal with a demon to keep the Arl from death. The boy became an abomination. Through him, each night, the demon raised armies of corpses to assault the village. The hero of Ferelden defeated the demon and stopped the undead hordes from destroying Redcliffe.
It's true, Macarius. Hey, Inam or someone who's played Mass Effect, help me out. It's either Mass Effect 1 or 2, I don't remember. I think it's 1. What's the one where the people are being are mind controlled by, like, I don't know, I don't think it was the Rachni. It was that other mind control creature that I can never remember. And it's not the oh god, it's not the Leviathan, it's not the original like the deep ones, whatever the hell their name is. It's not that, but it's like earlier than that, and they're being mind controlled, and this whole group of people on the planet are all like sort of blissfully happy and blissed out, and you have to break their mind control. That's what this Thorian. Thank you, Morris. Thorian. Yeah. The Thorian. Yep. What's up, Bacon? Yeah, Thorian, thank you. That's what this reminded me a little bit about. Something is screwed up here. Yeah, with the green Asari. Yep. That is correct. Alright, why does Alexius disapprove? Because he's sketchy?
What does the Magister have against you?
He does not like to be reminded of what mages can become. He says all
Volume okay, by the way, guys, in the game?
Redcliffe, but who would take us in?
How long have Tevinters been here?
Magister Alexius arrived at nightfall, 2 days after we retreated from the Temple of Sacred Ashes. He forced anyone without magic out of the castle, save those he required to serve him. Even the Arl was sent away.
Farewell, then.
One moment. You are a member of the Inquisition, are you not?
Yeah.
I am an alchemist. You must require potions. If the Magister will not have me here, perhaps I can offer my services.
All right. Join up, man.
We'd be delighted to have you working for the Inquisition.
Thank you. While one lives, it is good to believe there is still a use for one's talents.
Nice. Outstanding. All right, cool. All right, let me talk to some of the others here. All right. Okay, Linnea.
I remember you. You were a few years ahead of me in the office.
Why am I proposing marriage to her?
Up in the world, right?
What the hell is
Marked
this?
by Andraste, ordering Templars
Hey,
back.
Bacon. All of a sudden, I'm proposing marriage to her? What the hell is this? Look, look, lady. I saw you across the room, okay? I saw you across the room, and just, you seem so enchanting to me that I just decided the time had come. What the hell is this? Oh, my love. What? I don't even... I don't... I don't remember you.
And you are...
Linnea. I'm not surprised you don't remember me. You were the perfect apprentice, and I barely passed my
Oh,
You were
yeah.
the one the first enchanter chose to send to stop the conclave. I was the one he left here. You're the chosen of Andraste.
And I'm just me.
I'm just me.
I want to make sure we're never locked away in Circle Towers again.
Right. And I'm the Empress of Orlais. Go back
got
to
off
your
on the wrong
Templars.
foot.
We don't need you.
But wait, what if
Go
I...
back
What
to
if
your
I...
Templars. We don't need you.
What? He's like insistent on proposing to her.
Go back to your Templars. We don't need you.
Maybe this is the problem. Like, if she
back to
doesn't
your
respect me because I
Templars.
keep kneeling to
We
her.
don't need you.
Doesn't matter how I turn.
Go back to your Templars. We don't need you.
All right, Linnea. Whatever you say. What about you, Tallwyn?
Inquisition, huh? I wish to holy Andraste you'd gotten here sooner. These Tevinters make my shoulder blades itch.
Why is that? Tell me about yourself first.
Who are you?
Name's Tolwyn, formerly of the Circle of Magi in Hospital. Lived my whole life there, since I was 10 years old and came into my magic. 3 meals a day, quality education, a roof over my head. If you're not summoning demons, a mage tower. Each tower's a fine place to be.
Royk's nice. Are you with the rebellion?
If you were happy in the Circle, why are you here with the rebels?
We're all rebels now. The vote saw to that. The majority wanted to dissolve the circles. The rest of us went with them or were cut loose.
There are still some of us who are loyal in the Empress's court.
I figured I'm better off with my fellow mages than on my own.
So you don't like Tevinter?
You're not happy with this new alliance?
Something's not right about that lot. They're not like us. Magic or no, I'd rather count myself among decent folk than stand with magisters.
All right, so what's the deal with this alliance?
How did the Grand Enchanter end up working with Tevinter?
1 minute, we were bracing for the Templars to attack. The next, we had a Magister ally. It was a stroke of luck that's given us an edge. In a way. Out of the frying pan.
So obviously they're working with the Templars.
The Tevinters likely aren't happy you're asking questions.
Yeah, whatever. I eat Tevinters for breakfast, son. I'm just going to get out here, save it, and then we're going to take this break. Yeah, so something is creepy. There's no way that Fiona, with her background, as this person who was willing to, you know, be independent and like advocated for it, urged for a vote on it. She never backed down before. All of a sudden, she's like, "Yeah, I decided to go, you know, get together with the Imperium." I don't buy it. Something is screwy here. And we'll find out what just as soon as the incredible long load time passes. Ah, come on. Oh, this load time. Okay. Alrighty. Alright. The plot is thickening, people. Plot is thickening. Okay. Alright, I'm going to go and head off to take my break. It is 7:40. It's actually a little later than I wanted to do. So I'm going to be about 5 to 10 minutes, so I'll be back anywhere from 7:40 to 7:45. In the meantime, I encourage you guys to get up, stretch your legs, you know, get some food, get a snack, go to the bathroom, do all that good stuff. You know, hug your wife and kids, say hi to your husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, aunt, uncle, grandmother, grandfather, dog, cat, bird, lizard, ferret, aardvark, whatever. Say hi to all of them, and I will be back at you in between 5 and 10 minutes, and I'll play a little bit of music for you guys in the interim, so I'll catch you guys in a little bit.
shine at once and take your light from me. If all the oceans rose until there was less land than sea. If all the thunder crashed at once and left me deaf and dumb. If all the clouds arose in jealous rage and blotted out the sun. Light still fight to keep you close. I won't risk losing you after we've come so far. Oh no, I won't let go. I'll make it so I'll stop staying. I'll have you for all time. 'Cause you will be life is a total lie. If everything we felt was real was finally denied. If all that we had once believed was shown to be untrue. If all that either of us had was me and you. Will I still fight to keep you close? I won't risk losing you after we've come so far. Oh no, I won't let go. I'll make it so I'll stop staying. I'll have you for all time. Once again I see your face, the surface lined with care. Once again it dawns on me that you're no longer there. Well, I'm not one to hide from my problems. I'd rather hold them to my heart. But then again, I always had you for context. Keep them from tearing me apart. And you always said you'd stand nearby, closer than any friend. And with you near, I felt faith to try. What I didn't know was you'd leave the path before the end. Since then I've stumbled on. Well, I've got my highs and my lows. Sometimes I travel farther than I thought I could. Well, it's never far enough, I know. Well, I never was one for ironic self-reflection. I never played the cynic's part. But then I never knew the strength of our connection. And now I know I'm not that smart. And there comes a time we all will face, when the past and future meet. Street. Before the end, and there comes the time we all will
Okay. Thanks, everyone, for your patience. I appreciate that. Now I am fueled with energy. After eating my salmon teriyaki, which I will, I'll show off. There you go. See? That's what's left of my salmon teriyaki. There used to be rice on this plate. There was brown rice right there. There was salmon up here. You can see actually what's left of the skin of the salmon. There's salmon there. There are a couple of pieces of chicken katsu up here. There's also a couple of pieces of broccoli and carrots. And it's all gone. It has left us behind. And left the game behind. So, thanks for your patience. Everybody, now I have energy, and I am ready to get back into it. And you didn't have to watch me eat on cast, because, you know. Snacks, that's one thing. Full meals, not so much. Crispy salmon skin, I'm telling you, salmon. I love salmon so much. It is so good. It is delicious. Absolutely delicious. No, it's fine, Porquitos. I've actually, through the power of Twitch, I've actually shipped out salmon to each of you. So you guys will be having... The bear is left. The bear did not want to hang out. The bear is gone. But I have shipped out salmon to each of you, because that's the way I roll. I'll bet you did, Messiah. I'll bet you did. Okay. Have I even looked at this character record? Oh, that's the... Oh, never mind. Yes, I have. Okay. Alrighty, what were we doing? Meet Felix. Oh, yes, we have to go talk to Felix and find out what the hell's going on in the Chantry.
We should never have left the
They say Andraste sent you to save the world. If it'll help save lives and bring peace, I'll be the first to believe.
I don't have to worry about you falling at my feet in worship, then? That has been tiresome.
I believe we must each attend to our own lives to find salvation.
Alright, let's talk a little bit.
Are you working for the Mage Rebellion?
Mages are children of the Maker, no less than the rest of us. They struggle no less with questions of faith.
Should there even be circles? Hmm?
Does that mean you support their freedom?
Given a choice between the Circle and death, most mages willingly gave up some small freedoms for safety. But the pendulum swings, and now it seems any restraint is too much. I think they should have a chance to prove they deserve freedom.
Alright. Are you the only one who thinks this way?
I don't see any other priests in the village. Where is everybody?
The Magister had the others escorted out for their own safety, but I refused. He can throw me out if he wants.
I think he will.
Until then, I tend to my flock.
What are your feelings on the mages working with Tevinter?
The Imperium burned Andraste. Since then, we have led 4 exalted marches against them. Yet in all those marches, they still acknowledged the Maker.
Yep.
Now I speak of him and the Magisters laugh. Something has happened, and I dread to learn what.
You end up having neither of them, ultimately. Alright.
I will leave you to your duties.
Maker speed you, my child.
It would be funny if after all this, the Imperium actually turned out to be the good guys. And like this whole thing. Because, I mean, this is so much of an obvious setup that it's like, okay, come on, guys, really?
I don't know. I am Sister Tana. May I help you?
You with the Chantry? Oh, ha ha ha. I know who you are.
Chantry sister?